How you doing, everyone? Welcome back. I'm trying to be quiet a little bit here because you can probably see behind me it's dark outside. My wife has already gone to bed, and I'm going to be joining her here pretty soon after I finish this video. But I wanted to get this recorded. Some of you might get the idea from my previous videos that I'm a pretty hard leftist. I'm really not. I am actually what I would like to call conservatively progressive. Conservatively progressive. I mean, I want progress. I want things to move forward. I know some people on the left who want to do it all right now, and I don't think that's practical. I don't think it's wise. I think, yes, we can move forward, and some things do have to change right now, immediately. Let's get that done. Other things, hold on, slow down, let's make sure it works. Right? Conservatively progressive. In fact, might surprise you to know that I have never voted for a Democrat for President of the United States. Only twice have I ever not voted for the Republican. Those two times were in 2016, 2020. I did not vote for Donald Trump because, well, a long list of reasons. Long list of reasons, and I'm not going to get into all of that right now. But I also did not vote for Hillary Clinton. Mainly because, well, part of it was I don't like political dynasties, and part of it was I didn't trust her, and I think she's corrupt and crooked, and there's a long list of reasons. Did I realize Donald Trump would be as bad as he was? Not really, but I kind of had a hunch that he was not going to be good at all. Turns out I was right that he wasn't good. He was worse than I had expected. And because of that, I couldn't vote for him in 2020. I thought he just did a horrible job. But I also couldn't vote for Joe Biden, partly because of the age issue, and partly because, well, I was still trying to hold on to some of my conservative beliefs, that some of which I still hold, some of which I don't. But if we rewind, let's go all the way back to 1996 when I cast my first vote for president. I'm actually a little bit bitter about when my birthday is because I was a little bit too young to vote in 1992. Like, less than a month. So, a little bit bitter. Thanks, Mom. Couldn't have popped me out a little bit early, huh? Anyway. In 1992, I would have voted to re-elect George Bush. And a big part of that was I kind of saw that Clinton was, I don't know, there's something about this guy. He just seemed shady to me, and I just don't trust adulterers. I will not vote ever for a known adulterer. And if I vote for someone who is an adulterer and I don't know it the first time, but then it comes out before it's time to vote for that same person the second time, guess what? Not getting my vote. Because my thinking is, if you're not going to uphold that vow, you're not going to uphold that oath right there that you swore to that one person, I can't trust you with the country. If I can't trust you with, if your spouse can't trust you, I can't trust you. Period. But yeah, 96. Again, for the same reasons that I just laid out why I would have voted for Bush in 92, I voted for Bob Dole. Now, keep in mind, I also grew up in a Republican household, or, well, I'm pretty sure that if my dad were alive today, he would have many of the same opinions that I have about Donald Trump. I don't know that he would have shifted as far as I did in the other direction. But I know he would not be pleased with that particular guy. And I would have, I just lost my train of thought. It happens sometimes. Getting old, you can see the gray, right? Anyway, let's see. So I voted for Dole, and then 4 years later, 2000, I voted for George W. Bush. And a big part of that was, first of all, I didn't like the fact that Al Gore was just, he came across as very condescending, like he was like Mr. Rogers, except for even younger kids. I mean, he's almost like a preschool teacher is the way he came across, just as condescending as he seemed. And I just couldn't stand the guy. And again, being a conservative and a Republican at the time, I towed the party line. 2004. Yep. 2004. John Kerry. Also did not get my vote. For a similar reason as Gore. He just seemed very condescending. But he wasn't like preschool teacher condescending. He was more nose in the air. I'm an elitist, and that makes me better than you because I'm from Massachusetts and I have the same initials as John Kennedy. At least that's the way it came across. I mean, is that the way he actually is? I don't know, but it came across that way, and couldn't stand the guy. Plus, being in the middle of a war at the time, granted, in hindsight, I think Iraq, from a policy perspective, was a bad move. And I was there twice. From a policy perspective, I think it was a bad move. Even if the intel had been correct. Yeah, so I voted for Bush again. And I don't regret that. Don't regret either vote for Bush. 4 years later, 2008. Now things are starting to get interesting because we have a guy who doesn't look like any of the other presidents that we have ever had. Doesn't bother me at all. I mean, I don't care about that. But again, being conservative, and he was throwing out some not as far left as I thought it was at the time, and not as far left as, especially as far as left as today's Republicans would make it out to be, but it was too far left for my liking. So I voted for John McCain. Plus, it helped that McCain was also a veteran, Vietnam veteran. That was helpful. And like McCain, don't like McCain, he was a decent man. You know, and which is another reason that I didn't vote for Trump. The whole, well, I like my heroes who weren't captured. Yeah, well, I like presidents who weren't convicted. But, 4 years later, Mitt Romney was my candidate. Again, for very similar reasons. Part of it was towing the party line, and part of it was, well, Obama is just too far over here for my liking. And Mitt Romney is he's not one of those crazy conservatives. He's actually a very reasonable guy. He would actually be considered probably a centrist today, even though he was a solid conservative. So that's my voting history. Like I said, in 16, I actually voted for Evan McMullin, and in 2020, I wrote someone in. So that's my voting history. That's kind of where I'm coming from. And now that I have actually kind of stepped back and really effectively been thrown out of the Republican Party, I mean, not really, but when I have politicians out there saying that if you don't like Donald Trump, we don't want you in our party, all right, fine. That's fine. I'll leave your party. Or, you know what, if you don't agree with everything that we stand for, you can't be in our party. All right, fine. I'm out. See ya. I know where I'm not welcome. I'm still not a Democrat because I have too many disagreements with them. But I am more open to that perspective at this point in time. I'm not registered with any party, and in the near future, I don't foresee that happening. So, yeah, do I lean a little bit left on some things? Yeah, I don't deny that. On other things, no, I really don't. I lean more to the right. And I'm going to keep being who I am. I'm going to keep thinking my own thoughts, making up my own mind. Because, as George Patton once said, paraphrasing, if we all think the same, someone's not thinking at all. So, I'd like to know what you think. Leave me a comment. By the way, I do read the comments. Unfortunately, I'm not able to respond to all of them, though. But I do read the comments. So, leave me a comment, and I'll see you next time.